Hello and welcome to MotoGP FP2 here in Italy. The session has already got underway by just about a minute, and honestly that is not much of a minute to miss anyway. They're just heading out onto the track, but it does seem like there is a little bit of an altercation between, is that Pecco Bagnaia, one of the VR46s? He's holding up two fingers, so I'm guessing he's holding up. It doesn't seem any rudeness, where it seems like he was notifying him of something. So just turn the track noise on for you. 27 minutes left of this session, and then after this, we won't be... Okay. After this weekend, the FP2 and the quali will be split up, but it will all be on one stream for at least me, because it's a bit too much to do at once. I mean, I could do it, but it would save a lot of hassle for me to just keep on the same stream, though it will look like it is two streams, but just stay on the same stream. And this is the... Oh, a little bit of a wobble there for Alex Marquez. It was the Ganeshi, both of them seeming to be next to each other, and then Aldegar on his camera seems to have captured a slight wobble there. And there's Marquez's father currently in Alex's box for the weekend. But again, I always feel like most of the time when his father's in his box, he seems to crash a bit more. But I'm guessing that's nerves. But he did win once when he was in his box, so I think it's just a really weird coincidence that goes on. Currently on board with Pecco Bagnaia. No, not Pecco. Bagnaia. I keep mixing people. Given his name begins with an F. And I am currently stuck. Why am I stuck? Oh, that's why I'm stuck. Okay. Well, hold on. I'm just going to quickly go to battle screen, because my lead for my headphones has been put inside a chair. I don't know why. So I'm just going to quickly head to battle screen just for a few moments. I'll still be talking throughout it. If I can't get it undone, then I'm just going to have to deal with a constant being yanked backwards. Okay, I've got it undone. I have free movements. I mean, I'll probably put it back after this weekend, but I'm not dealing with having my head dragged that way every so often. Right, so currently, it's 25 minutes to go. Bsky is currently top of the session with a 146.541. Sorry. Quartararo goes fifth with a 147.637 after his injury yesterday, which he seems to have recovered quite quickly. So I'm guessing it was just maybe at most a dislocation, or maybe he just tweaked his muscle or shoulder blade out. Something happened. He was holding his arm very badly, like he'd injured it a lot, but he seems to be perfectly fine now, which is amazing news for Quartararo. And Zarco moves up into fifth for 147.510, and I can see in the corner of my eye there are a lot of movements going up, and here they are. Oliveira goes into third with a 146.649. Acosta goes fourth. Rins goes fifth. Alex Marquez goes sixth. Bsky maintains his first place with a 146.060. Nakagami goes ninth, but then gets pushed down to 10th by Mia. I'm guessing Nakagami is a wild card for this weekend. I miss Nakagami. Marc Marquez goes up into third with 146.588, with D'Antonio just behind in fifth, which is weird because they are actually next to each other on the track, and they are next to each other on the timings as well. I love it when that happens. because it reminds me so much of a race, but it's not actually a race because it's FP2. Right, who's improving? Quartararo seems to be improving upon his times. Got 3 red sector times. Let's see if he can get a red sector 4 time. Can he go to the top? No, he can go third though with a 146.209. That'll be because I think he's got a orange in the sector 4, so obviously something has tripped him up a little bit. Otherwise, or he just can't seem to get the pace he needs in the 4th sector. Vinales goes 7th, and bsky still maintaining his 1st position, does a sector 1 time, which is red, and it's Alex Marquez seeming about to cross the line and go into 2nd with a 146.113. Aldeguer moves up into 9th, where Binder moves up into 12th, but then gets immediately pushed down into 14th, because Bastianini moves up into 5th, and Rins moves up into 10th. Chandra crosses the line, stays where he is in 21st. Morbidelli is currently in 22nd. Mir in 6th, Nakagami's in 12th, and I believe that was Jack Miller going into 15th just then. Yes, I believe it was. And, oh, that's a lot of sticking the leg out there from D'Antonio. Must be really trying to manoeuvre the wind. And why does that... I don't know how to say his name. Pablo Nitia, I think, is how it's pronounced. But why does he look so much like John Hill? I think that's the actor's name. He played Gabriel in Good Omens. Why does he look so much like him? It's like, the face, it's reminding me so much of him. I don't know why. 21 minutes left to go of the session. Currently looking at Vinales, who's about to cross the line and go into 7th for 146.281. Good time for Vinales. Usually could be a little bit quicker. I would have more expected a 5th from him there. But it is FP2, no one's actually trying their hardest, not unless I don't have much hopes for their qualifying sessions. For some reason. Right, so fastest currently is Alex Marquez with a 146.035, 25 thousandths of a second faster than bsky's time, just set that. But Marc Marquez is estimated to go P1, but so is D'Antonio, so let's see who can get there first. I'm going to guess it's going to be Mark who's going to get there first, and then D'Antonio is just going to go into 2nd. So let's see how this is going to come about. Crossing the line now, Mark goes top with a 145.782, and D'Antonio goes 2nd with a 146.021. Looking into Marc Marquez's garage bit, I could have sworn I recognised one of the people from like another motorsport thing. A lot of people with familiar faces today. Not just because I've seen them before. Right, so 19.5 minutes left to go. We're looking at Bagnaia, who's in the pit lane, relaxing from his first run and probably getting the strategy that he needs to try and get out of 5th position and up into 1st, or at least 2nd alongside his teammates. And this is Alex Marquez. I'd say he's on a slow lap. I mean, I know he's done a red sector 3, but he hasn't seemed to have tried that much in the 1st sector, so I'm guessing he wanted to do a slower lap, but then decided against it, or he messed up in the first one. He goes 2nd with a 145.952, about 2 tenths slower than Mark. Acosta goes 7th for 146.271. That is almost 5 tenths off of Mark's time, and Morbidelli goes 7th, taking away Acosta's spot for 146.2. I believe that was 9.2. I'm going to check that. It was 146.249. I saw a 9, so I got that. Right. It seems a relatively behaved FP2, I've noticed. They're never usually this behaved. I mean, I'm half expecting Jack Miller to go off quite soon, because I saw him go off in FP1. So I know he has had trouble here. Here's a replay of Mark with his leg up just before the corner. I believe this is turn 1. Yeah, it is turn 1. And it's, look at the aero on that. Seems to be getting quite a decent aero from it, but just getting a slight backlash from the bike in the front. And it, overalls, who would that be? I would tell you who that would be, but they have gone into the pit lane. And the most annoying thing about having to use my laptop, no offence to my laptop, but is that it turns off so often. I mean, I like it like that usually, but I keep having to touch it back on. And who was that going up? I believe that was Acosta going up into 5th position. Good for Acosta, with a 146.126. And here I think is the part of the session where everyone's just going to go into the pit lanes, or pit boxes. Apart from a couple, there's always a few stragglers who take at least 2 laps longer than everyone else who actually go in. And then they're going to discuss the strategies. And then they're going to cool off and trying to relax, because it's tiring having to do that, I'm guessing. We need to conserve their energy for the qualifying session soon coming up, and the rest of this session, and the sprint later on. But yeah, there's Raul Fernandez entering the pits, and it's out there. We have Vinales, who we're currently looking at now, Acosta, Morbidelli, and Oliveira. All of those are remaining out on the track. None of them, however, are improving, so I'm guessing they're just getting some practice laps in. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're truly going for it, so this might be just a lap where they're going into the pit lane after this. Because well, Vinales has started another lap, so he's just going slow for the sake of slow. And here's a replay of Quartararo around turn 10, getting a slight bit of air on that back wheel, but nothing to be majorly concerned about, I don't think. Almost got the elbow down onto the curb. Yeah, there's nothing really much to be concerned about. Yet, if I was concerned about anything on Quartararo's bike right now, I would say it would be the degradation of his rear tyre. Which tyre compound is he on? Quartararo is on a front medium and a soft rear. That's why his rear tyre is degraded slightly more than his front tyre. Here's Morbidelli going around and taking off a visor strip. So I really hope... Oh, he's literally going into sector 2. If he was hoping for any type of fast lap there, that is completely gone. Though I'm guessing it's... I wonder if there's a lot of flies around this circuit. Joshua would usually tell me. I do have some notes that Joshua kindly printed off for me just before he went, which contains the lap records, the track, and this is just a detailed list of all of the rider statistics. Oh, I can hear the commentators from the speakerphones over there. I mean, I think they're speaking Italian, so I can't really understand it. I understand a few words. I need to know them. But 14 minutes. My brain is not fully operational. I have very interrupted sleep, apart from 1 hour and a half that I've just gotten from after I did Formula E. qualify, which I believe the Formula E race is currently on. And I don't know why, but my phone is still on for some reason. Okay. So everyone's still basically in their pit boxes. But the people who are currently out of the pit boxes aren't actually improving. And hello to everyone in chat. Why aren't they improving? If I was them, I would be using this time where the track has clear air to actually improve what I am doing, as I have to turn off a AVG thing that is currently on the screen. I'd be using the chance to get the clear air and another AVG thing. Why are they so, persistent? Another one. Really? 3 in 30 seconds. I don't need to know about this. Simply because this is not my computer. This is Joshua's. Okay, I think it's stopped doing that now. I can actually see my timing screen because that's what it was coming up against. None of them are actually making any improvements. That is concerning. Not for this track, but more for their strategists. What is going on? Why are you not putting up a little message on the screen? Because obviously they can't touch them through videos, because that would be absolutely terrifying going around the corners when you're trying to keep balance of a motorbike. Why aren't they saying something just like faster? Or speed up? Or can you please actually do fastest lap? I mean, obviously they can't fit that on that little screen. That's why the first two options would probably be better for what they're going to say. Or maybe just a speedometer with an up arrow. That would be sufficient, I would say. This is a massive weekend for Pepe to see if he can turn things around for himself. Yes, I agree, because it's been kind of an up and down recently. I mean, it was kind of a lot more up in the prospects of what was going on in the start of the season, but for some reason it seems to have dipped a lot. Halfway through it seems to have just this is a progress, and for some reason he's here, and he was here. I don't understand why. He's got the same bike as his teammate and he's doing well. Mark for number 1. And hopefully Mark will do well here. I think it's a lot of corners that will actually put more pressure on shoulder, which he injured before. I still get very worried about Mark sometimes when either there's a circuit where it's a bit more lean for the shoulder that he hurt, because sometimes these injuries never go away. They're always lingering on in the background sometimes. I had an injury about 11 years ago now. I still feel it sometimes. A week ago, I accidentally hurt the same ankle again, and for some reason I can still feel it. And I had to stay off it for a few days. So it's I worry about all that pressure, especially with how much he's pushing himself throughout this season. Here's a replay of Bagnaia going a little bit wide. Obviously, braked a little bit too late. Oh, and that is not a happy look from the principal at Ducati. Not a happy look. More of a why kind of look. That's his expression. His expression screams, why? Why do you do this? Well, he can't help it. Sometimes you just overestimate. Here's turn 1, the heaviest braking point. Oh, that's going to be fun for the sprint later on. And the race tomorrow. Heaviest braking point on the first turn. Because that's not going to cause someone to crash into someone else. I say that with all hope. Marco is 93 points behind Mark and 61 points behind Alex in the standings. He needs to find something quick. I agree. He definitely needs to, because he's in the same team as Mark and yet he's falling behind. And given that he is a former champion, he should not be falling so far behind, especially behind like Alex, who is in a different team. And what's going on there? Is that Jack Miller? It's got the similar outfit on. Well, the suit. That is someone from that team. That is either Jack Miller or I think Oliveira, who has just held up their hand and gone really slow. So that's either someone's knocked me off course or help my bike has a problem. So I'm hoping it's a knocking off course one, because honestly I don't think that team can take much more. I mean, obviously they can, but I mean like spirit wise. I wish they'd actually have a bit more good luck in their team. Like, get a top 10. Get a podium. Honestly. Here's Aldeguer, who's in 12th place, 7/10 behind Marc Marquez, currently on board with Bagnaia. And let's have a look. Going around the next corner, a little bit of a picture freeze up. Staying on the racing line, that's good. Slight bit of wobbling, but I think that's more the track's fault than anything else. It's a little bit bumpy, I've noticed, around these corners, and a little bit off the track there for Bagnaia. Oh, and a lot of bumps there. Starting to wobble quite a bit. Why? What is going on? Is it that sector or is it that bike? I feel like I need to keep an eye on that throughout the qualifying sessions, because if this is anything to do with how fast the bike is going, that is a concern. And lap time has been cancelled for bike, I think that's at 70? Which one is number 70? I genuinely do not know. Because I'm looking, so it's very hard when I have to commentate at the same time as trying to look for a bike I do not know what it is. It might have been 79, so it might have been Igora. It was one of the 70s. I could have sworn it said exactly 72. That's not right. Aldeguer goes 5th. Quartararo goes 8th, and Aldeguer goes into 14th. I'm just going to keep an eye if anyone loses their track time. Here's the number on there. Could it have been 30? Could it have been Nakagami losing the track time? Honestly, it could. That is a very small screen. I know there was a 0 in there. I know it. And I desperately want to sit down, but I'm the only one in here. 5 minutes left to go of the session, and it's Quartararo's doing his personal best in sectors at 1 and 2, but still a little bit off the mark from what he's been usually, because he's been quite fast throughout the past few race weekends. Estimated P1 now, that's what we like to see, fastest sector 3. 59 thousandths of a second up currently on the time that Marc Marquez has put up. Alex, however, does not have that luxury. Let's see what Alex can do coming into the 4th sector. And Mia goes 12th. Quartararo goes 2nd with a 145.846. That is only 64 thousandths of a second off the pace. I mean, he has not lost a lot at all between the exits of Sector 3 and crossing that line. That is very impressive, and Alex does not improve. He actually loses about 2.5 tenths from what he was between those two sectors. That's a little bit concerning there from Alex. I'm guessing that he is in need of a break, because I don't believe he's actually had that much of one. I think he if he did go in the pit lane, he only spent a very limited amount of time in there. Arthur, coincidentally, his teammate is currently entering the pit lane, and given the fact that given the fact that it's only like 3.5 minutes left to go of this session, I'm guessing that is him staying in the pit lane from now on, as well as Bastianini, Mir, Oliveira and Zarco. I can't see any of them coming back out of the pit lane anytime soon, so they must be all resting up for the qualifying session that's coming up quite soon. Nakagami goes 13th for 1:46.468. And currently in your top 10 are Marc Marquez in first with 1:45.782, Quartararo in second, Alex Marquez in third, D'Antonio is in fourth, Bezzecchi is in fifth, sixth is Morbidelli, Artiger is in seventh, Acosta is in eighth, ninth is Bagnaia, and Vinales is in 10th, and Acosta reaffirms his 8th place for 1:46.096, and I can only see one improvement from that within that top 10, and that is Vinales, who has a personal best of Sector 2 and 2 red Sectors 1 and 3. The only one on the entire track, actually, to be like massively improving on his times. Actually, I think he might go top of the session. He's about 10th and a half ahead of Mark's time, so about to cross the line. Let's see what Vinales can do. Top with a 1:45.742, and Mark sets a 1:45.758. What? 16 thousandths of a second down on Vinales' time. This close, but Vinales has just outshined him, and I don't believe there's any chance that Mark can actually make that up now. There's no chance he can try and fight that back. Vinales seems to want to reaffirm his place, and it's already 5 thousandths of a second up on his current time. But Mark has not tried that hard in the first sector, but seems to be slightly pushing a little bit more of a second. Something tells me he's realised I might have just enough time to actually get another lap in. That's actually decent enough in trying to get past Vinales, but Vinales seems to have understood this idea and thought, I shall do the same, even though I'm in first. So I don't know why they're fighting about it. So going into fifth is a 1:45.974 for Acosta. And I can only see 2 people improving, and that is Vinales and Marquez, and even they seem to have both given up slightly in the third sector, which I find curious, given the fact that they actually would have had enough time. I mean, I get their bike has to have a cooldown mode, but I mean, they still have time. If they want to do a fastest run, they still have 10 seconds on the clock to actually make a move, get that fastest lap, and actually try and beat each other in this. I mean, they have enough time. I'm pretty sure they're the only ones who have actually got enough time and aren't improving. Checker flag falls, and everyone seems to be on their last lap now. And it's Morbidelli's first to cross the checkered flag, staying in 8th position as no one is improving out there. This is your order. It's not changing. So I shall read you through the order while they're still out and about, because they are not changing. I can actually see quite a few people going into the pit lane. Right, so top of this session is Vinales with a 1:45.742, with Marc Marquez in second, only 16 thousandths of a second behind, with Quartararo then in third, only about a tenth behind. So a pretty good small separation between the top 3. I like that. Alex Marquez is in fourth, with a time that is about 2 seconds down upon Vinales' time. 5th is Acosta, D'Antonio is in 6th, 7th is Bezzecchi, Morbidelli is in 8th, Aldiger is in 9th, Bagnaia is in 10th, Bastianini is in 11th. Mia is in 12th, Nakagami is in 13th, which is good for Nakagami given how Nakagami used to finish in last year's standings. That's good for Nakagami. Binder is 14th, 15th is Iogura. Ralph Fernandez is in 16th. Oh, track counts are both next to each other. Oliveira is in 17th, Zarco is in 18th. Ooh, that's a bad run for Zarco. Let's hope in the first qualifying session he can actually make that time up. Rins is in 19th, Miller is in 20th. Bad time for Miller as well, usually about 5 positions up from that. Salvador is in 21st and Chantra is in 22nd. What is going on? I mean, all of 13 down have pitted. They were not going out again. But some of the people in that order, that's a little bit concerning. Because they are not in the positions they usually are. I'm guessing this track is not agreeing with them. But it seems like a Vinales dominated FP2. And I can go to this. And before I switch over to the qualifying session, I just want to talk about their times, like I was just talking about. What is going on? Because, I'm sorry, but Jack Miller being that far down the order, I mean, he may crash a lot, but he usually is in at least 14th, like fighting for that. Who was the other one that I mentioned? Ralph Fernandez is usually faster than this. And again, Ralph Fernandez seems to flourish in the first qualifying sessions quite a lot, so would not surprise me if that is why we don't see much of a usual performance there. Brad Binder, also not where I usually expect him to be. Zarco over the past few race weekends has been incredible with how he has performed. Obviously, I think last time out that he did crash out, so that was a bit unfortunate. But why is he so far down the order? I do not understand why. So, the qualifying session will be coming up very shortly. It will be on this stream, but obviously after. For anyone watching this after, you'll have to go to a different... It won't be on this same video. It'll be on a different one just after it. For anyone watching, like, in the future. But for those of you watching now, just stay on this stream. It will look like I'm going to, like, start streaming things, but that is purely just because it's a new session. So thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for qualifying, which is coming up within the next 10 to 20 minutes. I mean, you're going to have a pre-qualifying. It might actually be 15. I'm not exactly sure of the timings. So let's see you in a second.